Hi students, now I am going to summarize my old home, which has been written by one of the most famous short story writer of 20th century, Ling Zhen, who has been called the father of Chinese literature also. There are some of the characters in the story. The writer himself as a narrator, his mother, his nephew Hunger, who is about 8 years old, and his older brother. Likely, his childhood friend Rantu, his father, and his fifth son Shishang, who is about more than 10 years old. Now we come to the story. The story started when the narrator wanted to sell his old home by visiting there. After 20 years, about more than 600 miles far away from his village. His village is in China, one of the place that is not given the name of that place. After returning of 20 years, he also became a middle-aged person. While returning from there was some of the memories which depicts also. He thought that there might be many progress, beauty, and lots of things. But after returning and visiting home, he saw they were all scattered. There were no progress. There were no change. Rather, there were many weaknesses or that the drawbacks in that place. He saw his old home, which was need for renovation. Many things had been solved by his mother, and there were some of the furnitures to be sold. While visiting there, he entered into the room. He saw the conditions, but it was not good. Next morning, his mother also saw the narrator and became so happy and said also that, happy with sadness, both of these, hopeless also, that he had come to sell the birthplace house and happy to again returning after selling of this house. With his mother, his nephew Hunger also was there. He was very shy. He was about 8 years old. When the narrator was there, he was not there. He was not born also. His older brother also visited and satire on him that he had come to sell and got lots of money to become rich. But it was at that time, no, he got some of the things and he saw there were many changes. At the same time, an old woman, Mrs. Yang, also visited. She was unknown and the narrator was watching her. At that time, she also became familiar that she was one of the shopkeeper who sat at the corner of that place. Now she has been selling of the milk. And on the other hand, the narrator's mother told about his best friend Rantu, who times and again visited there. And the flashback come to that, oh, my old friends, my best friend. He tried to meet him. He talked to about him. No, that the time, no, when Both of them were playing in the watermelon's farm, catching of the birds, visiting to the seashores, exploring of the different things, catching of the fishes, catching of the height of the birds in the astonishing places. That all things were memorized by the authors. He also knew about that there were three kinds of servants generally found in China the then time, at the times of New Year. One of that long times, another short timers, another that busy workers busy workers like that. And he was also his father was Rantu's father was like the same. When Rantu's father brought Rantu at the time, and both of them became so close friend and visiting and enjoying that times. The same time, after some of that, Shiv Singh Rantu's son and Rantu also visited his house to meet his closest friend Ligjen, the narrator. While meeting him, he saw there were many changes on his face. One clothes, he became so old, and he asked about his life. Rantu said that he was suffering and facing of a troubled life, that there was no rain during this year, and he has been paying the high taxes. Another that his poverty and economic condition was not good. He had nothing to eat properly also. That after listening almost many things, that narrator's mother and Ligjen requested him to get almost all that the furnitures you need, and he got also. Really that it was a great problem of that, and it was the major thing that Rantu said to that Ligjen, the narrator, his best friend, master means Malik. That so that there is a little bit not good thing, and there is class between that the friendship, where at the times they were innocent, impartial, but now there is biasness, selfish, and there is a wall between friendship. In the social system also, there is unknown about the class differences at that time, but now there is class differences. That Rantu also thought that, oh, that narrator become so rich and he was very poor. It is that the second thing, that is relationship between both of that become so far, at that when they were very small, young, there was healthy relationship with all the relatives, families, friends, but now there was not good relationship. It was that the one of the problems which had come into that due to the passing of time. After lots of spending of the time, he understood that there were many change needed, and accordingly that time change, it is essential to think about the better of life. After almost talked, no, that the narrator, his mother, his nephew, all wanted to return back to the place where before he had walked, and again to start his journey. Accordingly, there we think that it was such types of life which has been presented by the narrator, and with carrying a great hope that in future his life will be better than what he has memorized before, and that the writer tries to think that no, we have always go positively, not to that, but there is a class he had presented. So there, when he met to his best friend Rantu, and his memory goes to past and far away. Thank you.